cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Can anybody hear me? Ooh, cha. Ooh, cha. Hey, born dog, thank you for letting me know you can hear me. You ain't nothing but a born dog, howling all the time. Hey, Jamel. Trying to see if I see anybody else. Hey, just my thoughts. Erica F. Okay. All right, let me go down and we'll get started. Hey, Kim. Okay, I named this video. Ooh, child. You got bodied again, girl. Just stop. Stop, please. You making it worse and worse and worse. And you ain't got enough sense to be ashamed. Oh my God, today. Well, let me see where I'm gonna start at. I think I'm gonna go from when I left you guys all the way up until the present, okay? Because I think you'll be able to keep up better like that. Hey, Lady Dimples. Hey, child. Girl, you been acting good. Hey, Kitty Cadillac. Dimples, you been acting good. No. I seen you on somebody's panel the other day. Might have been with Ness. I can't think of where it was at. I think I talked about it a little bit, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But let me pull my notes up. And we're gonna get started with this thing, okay? And if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, just a second. Okay. Okay, now yesterday I noticed that Treasure Lane went live, and all he did was discuss about what about Sean Bradley and look it wasn't a big live or anything. He just wanted to talk mainly, because he be in the clouds looking at what's going on, and the word had got on the street about the conversations that were being had in the Zoom or either Patreon. Sean Bradley, Well, he ain't never left YouTube, but he did a grand exit months ago, and he's supposed to not be on here, but he do. He be on troll pages and stuff. He's still active, but if that's the way he want to think, if we don't know he's still on YouTube, it's good enough for me. If it's good enough for him, and he talked about that a little bit, and he really didn't really didn't have a whole lot to say. I watched it, but it was just something that just to relax by. He wasn't really doing no dragging or anything like that, but he did say that he's gonna get active on YouTube. Everybody else active. He say he gonna get out here and shake his tail feather a little bit, okay? And I'll be glad to see that. I also seen that Rodney went live today. I didn't get to see very much of it because, like, after when I woke up, I knew that the captain was coming on this morning, and I wanted to be there from the beginning to the end of his live, and I was. Great live today. And we're going to get up to that in a second. Okay, let me pull these notes down, child. This thing it's so sensitive. If I touch it too hard, it go all the way, and I have to do it again. Okay, now I went by pizzas, and for some reason I don't know what happened with TSW or anything like that, but she was saying that TSW was male identified, but that's her opinion, and she did a little commentary on that. I didn't stay at the what I did stay at that live because I had heard about Lemon and Dragon having it out. So when after went to sleep and stuff, I woke up, I went straight over there. I went to Treasure Lane first, and then I went to Pizarro. Well, Pizarro, when she was live, she had a good live. She had J Don, Lemon, Resto, TMO, Lady Nika, Ken Nola, Lolo, RNY, and Dragon. Those are the people that wound up on the panel throughout the live. And that's when she was doing her commentary on TSW, and for some reason she was calling her male identified. Now I will have a question for you guys because I do not have the answer to this. Is TSW still gonna donate for the talent contest or not? Because see, I've been out the loop a little bit on Lemons, and I don't know if she's still gonna sponsor. Hey, watching from Cloud9, you could be what you want to be. Octavius, yes, I love every minute of it. And she have a lot of support over there. Well, honey, I got up on that panel and I told him no, I talk shit, okay? And I'm going to talk some more shit over here. Okay? Oh, she's looking for attention. No, she not. Oh, well, it is what it is. So for now, the pot is like 1,300 instead of 2,300 since she pulled that. And I really hate that. If you're not gonna give it, don't even say you're gonna give it. Just make it be a surprise. Spread the mama thing. Because honey, you got these people out here talking all over YouTube, all over the beef sector, and you was going from panel to panel to panel and want to talk about R. Kelly, and it was just a damn mess. I'm glad that's over. Ooh, child. See, I didn't get the gist over there at Bizarro's yesterday. Hey, just my thoughts. Ooh. Hey, Don Diva Sunshine. Yeah, she done pulled the purse, huh? Mm. And I've been hearing little whispers of stuff, but I ain't gonna say nothing about it today. But I'm gonna let it marinate overnight, and then I would talk about it. But it was some shit that went on last night, but I don't know enough about it to really report on it, you know, because I missed some things, by being over the Mo3 beef sector. Well, honey, I will be discussing it tomorrow, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. Okay? And if I'm wrong, y'all just let me know in the chat, child. Okay? Uh, pull my notes back up. I took them down briefly to speak. Well, she got through talking about TSW. Restro and Lemon got into it. And then Lemon got into it. Well, first he got into it, R and Y. And I don't know why they got into it, but he was talking that shit to R and Y. Let me see what he was saying there. Wait a minute. He was saying that she's too, she used to be fat, but now she's skinny, and then she have saggy skin. And she say that even though she's skinny, she's still a fat bitch in her mind. He was talking like that. And he was saying that she's skinny with a saggy body. Now I don't know nothing about her about being big or little. I don't know if a lot of these people, I don't know nothing about their weight. The only reason, like I said, the only reason I know Lady Snoop is small is because she cams up. Okay. The only way I know that like Brianna is big is because she cams up. But like as far as these other people that have never cammed up, I can't tell if you little big or little. So I don't know if RNY had surgery to lose weight. And if she did, that ain't my problem. A lot of people do. But he just kept honing in on that. And I was just saying, I wonder why was he going so hard at her? But I think she was in the chat and she was saying stuff back to him, and I was saying, oh, okay. And then Lemon, he said that he was going to be Binary's co-host in the mornings. Well, some people think it's too much for him because he really won't get much sleep because see, he do his YouTube live and they be like 5 hours and up. Okay, then he'll go to Discord. And I don't know how long he might stay in there a night. And then if he really feeling it, he runs around and hit panels. He might hit Shakim panel, Nez panel if she live and stuff like that. But when would he sleep? Because I think Binary come on around 6 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know. I think that he gonna be real cranky if he do that co-host position. Because like I said, he do the long live in YouTube, then he do the Discord, and the amount of times he's in there varies. And plus he be out here woo banging throughout the night. And then like if Pizarro live early in the morning, YouTube cameras, if any of them people live, he'll hit their link. So I don't know what kind of fuel he burning, but I just think that he'll probably start snapping more at people. So, it might be a good to kind of steer clear him for a couple of days once you see him getting snappy, because all that's wrong with him is sleepy. Okay. So, that's my opinion. When him and Restro, they was dragging each other, they were dragging each other pretty bad, but I enjoy seeing them getting, I enjoy seeing a good male fight because we don't get to see a whole bunch of those. We usually see is a female, a male, female. But we don't get very many male fights in the beef sector. So I don't have no problem, because I'm going to watch. I want to see who's going to win. And I want to see how low they'll go. Because like I said, the women are called bitches and all kind of stuff. So I don't know, And he was kind of smeared it in Resto's face that he was going to be the co-host. Well, see, after I left there, Pizarro, I heard him say he didn't want to be Binary's co-host anymore. So I don't even know if he went over there and did it this morning, because you know, I'm here, they minds change so fast. You know, some no, I don't want to never speak to him again. And then next thing you know, they sitting on the panel and they cool. So I don't know. I don't know if Bestro gonna be a co-host too. I don't know what the hell going on. I guess the only way for me to find out is get my ass up early in the morning and go over there and look at down there. But I can look at him after I do this live, because you know, I want to keep up with what's going on, you know, even though I might not like the storyline that much. Let me see. And then Pizarro let Lemon know that Dragon was like being two-faced with him. You know what I was saying? Ugh. And so then Lemon and Dragon got into it. And when she hit the link, because she had trouble connecting, and then he was saying little smart stuff like she ride a scooter and she ride a bike and she built one of them charging stations, and you know, he was just saying smart shit. Well, when the Dragon did get back up there, I guess she heard some of the things that he said. And honey, you talking about talking that shit to him, okay? So let me make this bigger so I can tell you guys what was said between those two. It got really nasty really quick, okay? Okay. He said that, you know, I told you about her driving a scooter. He said the only time that Dragon show up is like when he sent her money. You know, like to buy her a drink, or he kept saying something about a strawberry. That the last time she was on his link, he had sent her $20 so she could buy that. So he's still giving her money, but that's between them. I ain't got no problem with that. He started talking about that she was homeless, you know, and saying stuff like that to her. And then he was telling like the people in the audience, hey y'all, send her some money. Like he was like making it seem like she'd do anything for money. And Pizarro said, not none of my crew. Them Lemonettes down there, and that you tell them Lemonettes in that chat to send her some money. But we ain't doing that over here. You know, that's what she was saying. And I was laughing. He called her a crackhead. He was calling her bitches and MFers. And then, you know, well, let me talk about what Dragon was saying. Let me see. And Dragon said that Lemon, you know, she called him that he was stupid, a dumbass. You know, she called him a stupid, dumb face ass. And I was saying, what is that? She called him a crybaby. And she said he gives her no respect, that he talks to her very disrespectful, and it hurts her feelings. And she said that's another reason that she act out. And she told him to take that her judging that the talent show. She told him to cram that up his ass. That she didn't want to be, you know, she didn't. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of, you know, people messing me about being a judge, and then you ain't supporting me at all. You letting them just say anything about me and putting me on hold like I'm a judge today and I'm not a judge tomorrow. And you know, she was just letting out steam. And then she said, he said, where you at? You homeless. And she said, I'm sitting outside on my patio. He said, prove it. Cam up. And she said, I ain't got to cam up to show you nothing. I'm just telling you that I'm on my patio. And he know exact things to, you know, to make her flip out. Well, he was talking about her being homeless and won't come this channel unless he pay her, and he was just saying more and more and calling her bitches and stuff. And she went off, because everybody know how Trey gonna go off every once in a while. But he know what buttons to push on her. Hopefully, they relationships not fractured too bad, because I've seen them get into it before, but they make back up. So I don't know which way this gonna go. And then, Brianna hit the damn panel and asked to be a judge. And Lemon, yeah, you can be the judge, yeah. Because Dragon's not a judge and, doing that kind of stuff, just rubbing it in. So Brianna's in, Dragon is out. Okay? And that's about it for that, for that live. I just wanted to make sure I got to see it to see how the argument started and how the argument ended on the live. And as far as I know, they did not make up last night. Okay, now I went by Bimps because I was really excited because he was supposed to be going live, and OYB said he was gonna send him more receipts on Gina to body her. Well, I said and I said and I sat and I sat and I waited. OYB never did come, and Bimp had been on about 30 minutes, and Broadway went live. So I had both of their tabs pulled up. I was going back and forth. And on Bimp's live, he had Book, Eve, 88, Blue Goddess, Stocks and Bonds, and that's Vato, Nanny Dog, Woo, OG Bobby Johnson. And Eve, when she was like one of the first people on the panel, was she was trying to get an issue resolved that came up about 3 weeks ago. And the issue was that it was said that Jackie was stealing people money because, she prepared taxes and things like that. And that had got settled down before. Gigi was saying that, no, that's not true. Jackie didn't say that. Well, hell, for some reason, the shit came back up. Chanel been talking about it. Chanel, I can't think where I was somewhere and I found, I was at Broadway's, and so I found out the Jackie then was into it. So I watched Jackie live, I watched Chanel live, and Nurse K. Well, it was a lot of. Well, Jackie just said I can't be bothered with this because I'm not gonna try to correct no lie. And I talked about this already a month ago. I ain't got nothing else to say. Well, child, MHB called her PO yesterday and was saying a whole lot of stuff that she allegedly was supposed to be doing. Well, when she went live, she talked about that. She said, yeah, her PO called her. And he said that when she answered the phone, that her parole officer asked her, who the hell have you pissed off on YouTube? Because see, they'll use YouTube to get people locked up, or you violate your probation and stuff. And so luckily Jack had already talked to him about it. And she made it be known that if they play recordings or talking to her PO, the PO is going to go after whoever do that. Because he said he would never give his permission for anybody to record him. Because that's his job, So he said, I'll go to the next level. So we're going to see how the people on YouTube are going to do. They be doing those kind of things, like calling the POs and recording them and stuff like that without their permission. So, honey, I get to see if they play the recordings on YouTube. I don't know. Okay. Wait a minute. And Royalty, she wound up there, and that Danny woman, and that the Danny lady is the one I told you guys about last week. That I don't know who said what to her, but she went off the whole live. Well, honey, she was kicking it last night. She had her makeup on. She had, I thought it was like a fitted top, but the guys kept telling her to stand up. And honey, she stood up, and you talking about a badonkadonk back there, because you know they were drinking shots and stuff, and she was sitting her shot glass on her butt. You know what I'm saying? But she was holding it with her hands so she wouldn't lose her drink. But her butt was like that, where you could set a glass on it, honey. And I was saying, damn, Danny, I didn't know you was working with all of that. But she got a nice shape. She have a flat stomach, big butt, wide hips, you know, and her dress was short, short. I mean, short, short. And so, you know, she would dance a little bit, and she was pull it down and all of that. And the guys was liking that, you know, because they like to see them girls over there dance and stuff. And I watched that for a while, and then I just had to go back over, you know, 357 to see what was going on, you know. And let me go down. Yeah, honey, I didn't know Dana was working with all that. Because she usually be all covered up, you know. Honey, she wasn't covered up last night, honey. She stood up and she showed that badonkadonk. And she had her makeup on and her hair was fixed cute, you know. But she was getting toe up, honey, drinking them shots. She was bending over and shaking that ass, shaking it like a salt shaker child. I say, well, okay. And she stayed over there a long time with them. And it was just mainly people shooting the shit, okay? So it wasn't no bunch of arguing and all that over there. They was like having friendly arguments. Okay? And so then, let me see what happened. Wait a minute. Trying to get to 357 because I told you guys I was watching both of them at the same time. Let me get to his notes. I mean, this thing is so sensitive. If I touch it wrong, it go up real fast. Okay, here it is. Okay, now 357 on his live. Gina was up there. Jackie was up there. Rune Shaker. And on site April was up there. Now I've seen on site April around here in these streets a couple of times since her son passed. Now I thought she was having her baby in June, because I got a note of it on this notepad up there with, you know, I at the top of my notepad I have the events that's gonna happen, like twerk contests, anything like that. I have that up there. I have like court days when people go to court and stuff up there. Well, child, I looked at on site April on, I can't think of whose panel she was on the other night. Was it Broadway? Well, it was somebody panel, and I forgot to talk about this. Well, she turned the camera on, child, and her belly is flat as a pancake like it used to be. And so when I seen how flat her stomach was, because she was on the panel, and I added her. I said, "Did you had your baby?" But she never did answer me back. So I was in the chat last night, and you know, I speak to everybody, and I seen her, I spoke to her, and I was like, huh. And so then she got on camera and she showed her body fairly flat as a pancake. But you know, April got a hell of a shape. You know, she built up nice. To be old as she is, she got a hell of a body. Okay, built wise. And I mean, her stomach was flat, and she was showing it with her camera. You know, showing her thighs, and she has short shorts on and a tight shirt. And so she was on 357 panel last night. And I'm just sitting there listening to everything they were discussing and what they were discussing. Rune Shaker said something about Lemon's contest and about Lemon saying that Jackie was going to be in the contest. Well, see, I invited Jackie a couple of weeks ago to the contest that D Miss O had. And I invited her to lemon contest. Because she be in contests. And I wanted to see her do this dance that she been practicing for like a trail ride or something in June. She have been doing routines, and putting them on Facebook and stuff like that. And she one of like top picks on that whatever dance that it is that the young people are doing right now. Well, when I hit a panel, I said, Jackie, I think you will be good on the dance contest. I say, cause you ain't been over in the beef sector doing the contests, you know, and the beef sector want to see something different, and she will be different. And she said, I'll think about it. I don't know. I'll think about it. I said, girl, that pot big over there. I said, you might need to go over limits and give just a listen about this contest or go over there and ask a question. Well, last night, Bloom Shaker, you know, she was saying stuff about lemon on the panel, calling them gay and this and that, and down low. And so, and then they was talking about the beef sector scamming on contests. And so she was saying, Paulette, come up here. You know more about it than I do. Come on up here. And I'm saying, oh, shit. And so when I got up there, I told her, but I knew about the contest. I told her anybody could be in the contest. I said, I don't know nothing about no rigging it and all that. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just announcing about I just made an announcement with Jackie about the contest. And Jackie said if she wins, she'll give me a cut for letting her know about the contest. Well, she wound up not being in 88, so I don't know why. Maybe it was because of short notice. Because I think I let her know on a Thursday night, and they was having a contest, I think, on a Saturday. So she didn't have enough time, she said. So, and I explained how limited, explained how the pot would be split. There was going to be a first place and a second place, but they didn't have the price amounts because, they're going to be getting people sending in money to go with the pot. So we don't know how high the pot would be. Well, Room Shaker, she was saying, well, I think that lemon, I think that he ought to pay Jackie for coming. And I said, well, that had to be discussed over there with lemon. I said, because as far as I know, the people, when they have contestants, they can have a cash app on them, on the avatar. I say, so they might get money like that. I say, but like for the actual pot, it's a first place and a second place. And Lemon has set the time limit with 5 minutes. You could do it in 3 minutes, you could do it in 3 minutes or whatever, but you got up to 5 minutes to perform whatever it is that you know how to do. So I think that'll be pretty neat, a talent contest. Because everybody don't dance and everybody don't sing. People, it's a zillion, talents that people got. So we'll see. And then sometimes when I talk, because I just try to be straight up and I don't do a whole bunch of giggling and all that kind of stuff. Well, see, I was thinking that it might come out that I was being harsh with Room Shake, which I was not. But hopefully she know that's how I talk. Because, I talk to her on her panel. But I noticed that some of the people in the chat, was thinking that I was upset. I wasn't upset. I wasn't going to be upset about the lemon contest for. I hope all the contests over here is a hit. And I said in the beef sector, they're not scamming on the people that's in the contest. I say because people from other sectors are winning the money on our contest. I say, but when the beef sector go and be in contests in these other sectors, we don't win. And I say that they keep on critiquing everything that go on in the contest in the beef sector. The beef sector, they can easily shut the contest down and just have beef sector participants. And we'll know that a beef sector person won the money. And I say that people say that the beef sector, we cheated when Lovely Love won. No, you let the audience pick, and it was more beef sector people over there, and we voted for lovely love. And then, like I told Broadway, I said, when you have your contest every time, they say you cheating, you scamming, saying Jackie scammed when she won $1,000. So I'm not gonna get on that too much about you know, the people that do the contest, they know what they're doing. That ain't none of my business. Until I have a contest, I ain't got nothing to say about it. But on the talent show, I don't know if I'll be in it the whole time. But 9 times out of 10, I do like I normally do on a contest. Wait till it's over, then go see who won the money, who won first, second, or third, things like that. That's what I do. So, and because I don't want to watch the whole contest. I don't want to sit there watching that for 3 hours or 4 hours. It depends on how many people is going to be in there. And see, I don't know none of that because I don't even ask them kind of questions. It don't matter to me. It's just something to watch. Um, I'm glad that the B sector kind of cut back on all of those contests because they contested me out on the food and dancing. Because like I said, I ain't want to watch nobody cook. You know, and I really ain't want to watch them dance too much anymore. But I wanted Jackie to have her little cowboy stuff on, her little boots that she got. They shake. They got tassels on them, and like her to come out in them short shorts or whatever, and rodeo do that dance. Show them what you're working with, and it'll be done something different. So, and then other people over in the Mo3B section, they might get in it. You never know. So that's about it on that. Wait. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Wait a minute. Let me pull my notes back up, child. I had to pull them down because I was scared that I had lost the crowd because it do like that sometimes. And I be just talking. And y'all be gone. Okay. All right. And so Gina had jumped up on the panel and she would jump down. Say a little bit. Then she jump down. Then she jump back up. Then she jumped down. And so she was up there and then she started dragging that OYB. She was dragging the hell out of him. Well, honey, the captain hit the link. And he said that he was started talking about the receipts that he had received. And he said that OYB had sent him 70 receipts for last night. And when he said 70, Gina flew off that panel. Do y'all hear me? She ran like somebody put some gasoline on her and set on fire. And I was thoroughly enjoying myself. Well, then he started reading some of the messages. He didn't read them all because he wanted to keep some of them for his show today. Couldn't find out OYB did send Bimp messages, but Bimp ain't gonna show no messages unless the person that sent them to him come up on that panel. But Bimp had receipts all the time, but Out Your Body didn't hit his link. Because like he said, that's Out Your Body. That's his information. I ain't got nothing to do with that, but he can come up here and talk that shit. And he come up here and show what he got. Well, the captain said that Gina had been sending OYB videos of her playing with herself. OYB sent that to him. He said that OYB sent him a picture of Gina with her legs wide open with nothing on downstairs. And then he's, he was been over here briefly, and then he left because he said he wanted to get up early this morning, take his girls to school, and then he was gonna come live, for the day. And then Room Shaker asked Jackie, because Jackie stayed up on the panel for a while last night. She wanted to know why. She said, "Don't you take Duck over there when if you go over there and be in that contest over there, because Limmer gonna try to snatch him up. He GAY." And then Broward was, "Hey, hold up, what you saying about my brother?" And it went back and forth on that. Yes, he is. No, he not. Yes, he is gay. No, he not. He bisexual. Well, whatever. That argument went on, and I got tired of that one. Because I done heard that 1,000 times, and so I got rid of the exit stage left or right. Uh, okay, and like I said, he showed some of the messages, but he had got sleepy, and he said, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I just come on tomorrow, and I'll show the 70 messages. And I was saying, shut your mouth and keep on talking. Okay. Yeah, I say, shut your mouth and keep on talking. Okay, now Deanna went live today. She was live this morning, and I said, I'm going over there to see what the hell she's talking about, because I told you her name came up over there at this heat a couple of days ago, and he said she regretted doing what she did to Deanna channel and all of that, you know. And Deanna said she don't care if that's an apology or whatever it is. She don't want it. She don't want nothing to do with you. This heat. She said because she kept telling that Ness and you were striking her. That you were striking her on behalf of Ness. And she said she had never did anything to you. And she said that she's not gonna accept apology. And she don't have to. You know. Sometimes you just I mean you can be cool. And so when she said that when Just Net, which is one of Deanna's close friends, and she hardly ever hit the panel, but somewhere out here in the YouTube land that she hit the panel that this heat was on, and she asked her, "Did you take Deanna Page? Did you strike her out?" And she said that he said, "No, I didn't. I didn't strike her channel." We're going to find out she did, But she said that she wasn't gonna be out here roguing like she was, getting into it with people everywhere and stuff. She said she ain't gonna do that. She don't want to be bothered. But she do have, bigger fish to fry. So that's about it on that. No, no, no. Let me pull this up because I want y'all to hear what Deanna was saying. Now Deanna drug D Ramsey and she got drug this heat. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you here. All right. And she said that Deanna said that the reason is she didn't go in real bad on D Ramsey in the past. She said because her life was falling apart. Everything was going wrong with her and all of that. So I'm thinking D Ramsey said some things about Deanna somewhere. I don't know where. Well, honey, it's on and popping between them two. And she said that she's living like in one of them tiny houses, which she said that she wanted a tiny house years ago. Well, now she have one. Okay. All right. And she said that like that tiny home that she got, they cost around $8,000. And she said it's like a very small shed. It's like a storage building where you just put your junk in. Have storage building you put some things good out there, but you keep them locked. Well, she said that Deanna living in squalor. Her front of her place is just nasty. Stuff piled up and all of that. So that's how Deanna. That's how D Ramsey living now. Okay, now this is what I have to say about D Ramsey. Oh, well, another thing she said that which I remember this, D Ramsey had bought one of Deanna's, like a pullover shirt. She bought one for her for support. Well, when she got mad at Deanna, she took the shirt that she got, put it in a barbecue grill, put burnt what they call it, the starter fuel. She squirted some of that on there, and she had a fire, honey. And I was saying, yeah, I remember that. Well, Deanna also said that she hadn't went against, you know, skull drug. I keep getting these names mixed up. That's why Deanna skull drug. Damn. D Ramsey. She said that D Ramsey was looking so bad, because she looked like she had the big C, but I don't know. But she used to have meat on her bones, and she had fell off to nothing. And she said that that girl ain't got no car. But damn, what's her name? D Ramsey. You remember when you quit your job or retired or did what else? Damn, I'm getting about my mad. Oh, and you remember you left your job, and got two new vehicles, not one. She bought two cars, and she would be dancing outside to the moon and to the sun and the grass and stuff. And then she was doing a lot of that, the reading stuff, or just a mess. Okay, well, what I'm saying, D Ramsey. Now you had a nice house. It had a nice patio. You was living. It seemed like pretty good. But then I heard you and your husband got a divorce. Now I don't know. And you were saying he was an abusive man. I never known him to be nothing was quiet, but I can't vouch that he's not a person that, not a domestic violent person. So D Ramsey, you got a car, you got two cars at the same time. Then you went on this pilgrimage across the United States, like throwing your mama ashes out and stuff. And I want to know, like, when did you convert to Christianity? Because I looked at some of your older videos on there that I missed, and you was doing a whole lot of praying to God, talking about how blessed you were and stuff like that. And I hope you mean it, because things can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye. So I was saying, oh, try. Um, all right, and like when you went on your journey to do whatever you was doing, you was sleeping in your car. You remember you wasn't getting rooms. You would pull up one of them RV things and hook up to them and all that kind of shit, child. She was cooking outside, eating and shit outside, doing the same thing this was doing. Okay. And one time when she was selling her house, she said that she was downsized because the home like it got too big for her and her husband or whatever. But little as that storage house is, I will go crazy in there. And child, she said, you got a boo. So you didn't divorce your husband? You got a boo? Child, bye. Bye. And what happened to your cars? Why come you ain't got one car? Because them was fresh out there. It's been like 2 years ago. And you was living in a motel for a while, and then you got that time where she was going to places over in Mexico, some kind of treatment. And then, doing her home remedies and stuff. So I don't know if they'll ever talk nice to each other again. I doubt it. And as much stuff he got in his phone on you, Jimmy, you ought to quit. And they got a picture a person got a picture of your mother, like in a bathroom with no shirt on, her hair hanging down over her titties. Well, not hanging down, hanging halfway to her bottom of her belly. And then I seen her mother with that dress, that picture that she took with no top on. I was saying the apple don't fall from the tree because Gina do that kind of stuff. At least her mom didn't put the camera between her legs and snap it. At least she had her hair covering her breasts, but you could tell she didn't have no shirt on. But her titties is long. Okay, now, Gina got a very nice looking mother. Um, to me, Gina look older than her mama. Now, if you want to see that, the picture of her of Gina mother, you could go to Not on My Watch page, and she'll play it, and you'll get to hear it. So let's see for that. Let me see. What it tonight? And another thing that Deanna said on her live today, D Ramsey, she said that she think that you get like disability or something like that. Now I don't know none of your business like that. But like I said, I seen you on the road in your car and you was pulling up to them park things that you plug your car into. You was smoking weed, drinking, just kicking it. But now you talked about how great God is and everything else. So you converted from what you used to be to another religion. That's why I don't discuss the religion on here. Period. I shouldn't have to argue with anybody on how I worship. It was just raised in me, but I don't do right all the time. I'm human. Okay. Well, I went by the captain this morning. I think he came on like 10 o'clock. Well, child, he don't never make you walk where they're not pleased. Okay. So OBS was up there. I mean OYB. Um, let me see. I had a list of the people that was on his panel. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And see, D Ramsey, she used to like do that spiritual stuff, like the milk baths and stuff. Like she did a cleanse on Sean Bradley one time, had him to sit in like some milk and all kind of other bullshit. I ain't got time for that. But some people believe, and I can't knock you for what you believe. I just don't believe in it. It ain't got nothing. That ain't got nothing to do with what they teach at my church. You know. But yeah, she was used to was smoking weed and everything. And Deanna said she gained some of her weight back because she was like a muscular lady. And then like Tracy, we was talking one night, and she said, "Yeah, she got to see." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah." And that poke had already died from it, like a couple of years before. Um, Wait a minute. I think that's it for Deanna. She was just like it started off shooting off steam, but by the time that it got close to the end of her life, she was in the best mood you ever seen, honey. Okay, now I'm going to let me see. Hold on. Okay, now I went to the captain because he came on like at 10 o'clock this morning. I did share it out, and he had the receipts, and he was as cooling. You know, he was just saying different ones. Y'all come up here and help me, this and that. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Well, they had some real cops to go up there with the utensils to take whatever was in the person's mouth out. And I was saying, ugh, that's nasty. Okay, and then he started talking about the receipts that the captain sent him. And he wanted a lady to speak her part, and he would handle a man part. You know, well, good reading to both of y'all. Mm, 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 mm. mm, 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 mm. Ooh.